Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Good day and welcome to the show on this Easter Friday. Thank you for tuning in. I'm glad to have you guys here. And we're going to get the show started. And the first thing I want to talk about is in Canada, there is over 1 million people without power after a tremendous ice storm hits. 2 dead. That's a really bad ice storm. You know, ice storms are something I really fear. Because it can get so bad. Years ago they had an ice storm that hit and it laid down so much ice people can get trapped inside they can't even get to their cars. You imagine 3 inches of ice over top of your whole car, 3 inches thick. It weighs down power lines. It can bust utilities. It's a tremendously powerful thing, ice, and you can't even stand up outside to do anything. And the power goes out, you're stuck inside your house. Things can really start to go awry in an ice storm. Now, we've seen a big week for silver. We're looking at $25 right now, but I'm going to tell you guys this is just the beginning. 25.07 bid on silver. We're going to have to see what it does next week, but I can just see movement up to the upside because we're moving toward inflation. In other news, we closed out the week on the Dow Jones at 33,485. And so the Dow Jones has not reacted. We see cracks developing now. Cracks, quote unquote, cracks in the labor markets. I know Janet Yellen got up there and she says, okay, this is great. The economy's great. We cannot possibly have a recession with the lowest job rate numbers we have out here right now. But, if you take a look at the charts, you'll see just before recessions always start, you always have your lowest number. You put in your lowest number, and then it's an almost immediate thing. It just goes boing. Seriously, you can chart this. I probably should have put the chart up, show you guys what I'm talking about. But you go from your lowest numbers, and it just goes boom, overnight. It happened in 2008, and it'll happen again. And this is what we're looking at. We're looking at a recession coming in, and very, very quickly. Let's take a look at this. Russia and China is preparing a new gold-backed currency. But experts are assuring you that the US dollar is the safest currency in the world. This is gold backed. Theirs is going to be gold backed. What's ours backed by? Nothing. Which do you think is going to be the safest in the world? What do you guys think? Do you think that their new gold backed currency is going to be the safest, or the United States dollar is built on a Ponzi scheme? So this is just rhetoric, them saying. They're trying to calm people down. They're trying to keep people in the dollar. Meanwhile, the BRICS are preparing something new. And what they're going to do is they're going to take currencies from several different countries. It's not just going to be China and Russia. It's, let me see here, the different countries. They're going to make what's called a basket currency. And they're going to back it with gold. They're actually, what they're doing is they are working at reforming the global financial system. But these things do take time on a looking at it on a relative basis, guys. It might seem that this happens very slowly. But when you look at it over a period of years or an extended period, you see that it actually happens very quickly. Like basically what I'm saying, say it takes a year or two for it to happen. And so when you're in there waiting for that year or two to go by, it seems like it's going along slowly. But when you look at it from a historical perspective, say 10 years from now, 15, 20 years from now, you'll say it practically happened overnight. And that's the way this is going to work. So, moving on, we're going to take a look at this. Texas. Texas is enacting a legislation that would create an option for people to transact business in sound money. It's gold. They're Texas is trying to establish a digital currency that's backed by gold. And they're introducing this legislation. It's Senate Bill 2334. And it's introduced on March 10th. Mark DeRazio introduced a companion House Bill 4903 on the same day. The legislation will require the state comptroller to establish a digital currency that is fully backed by gold and fully redeemable for cash or gold as well. You know, this would be actually, if all the states were to enact this or something similar, this could be a cure to the problems in our monetary system. But I'm going to tell you guys, don't be too hopeful, because ultimately it says enactment of this legislation would create an option for people to transact business and sound money. And this is the part right here. It would set the stage to undermine the Federal Reserve's monopoly on money and create a viable alternative to the central bank digital currency. So this is in direct opposition to the big power brokers out there who control a monopoly on money, and they have money that's backed by nothing, and they can create as much as they want. So this is very simple. I just can't see them passing this, really. You know, I mean, and actually doing this, I just can't see it happening. Okay, moving on. Taking a look at some more stories. This is what I wanted to show you guys. I spotted this on YouTube. And from what I understand, I mean, I don't know. I'm not there. I don't know what they're doing. But I did see what they're doing in the video. It looks like they're in a parking lot, and they've bought water at the store, and they're just dumping it on the ground in the parking lot. And anyway, there's a way that this is Oregon Trails EBD card, for state benefits, and it's a card that allows people to buy things like food, I guess, or whatever, right? And they can just go and they can get one of these cards, and then they can go into the store and they can buy some bottled water and stuff, and then dump it in the parking lot and take the bottles back in for the bottle deposit. And then they get some cash in their pocket. And they can go out and buy, allegedly, buy whatever they want. What do they want? Is it Dr. Ugg? You know? You know, Dr. 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 Ugg? Dr. Ugg? They want to have they want to be able to go and have Dr. Ugg pay them a visit. Anyway, this kind of thing out there, you know, that can be going on in a system where I gotta hand it to people out there. They got a lot of ingenuity of how to get what they want and how to what do you call it, to the system? How to give the system a middle finger and get what they want anyway out of the system at the expense of everybody else. Because I mean that the cost of that water is just going down the parking lot into the sewer. It's a crazy. The world's going crazy. It's actually beyond bizarre. Chaos erupts. It says Democrats are voted out of Tennessee legislature. It says it expels 2 Democratic lawmakers, the Tennessee House. That's what I see there on that headline. China and France are calling for peace in Ukraine, and they're vowing for a deeper military. Now, I'm hopeful that the war in Ukraine could end. I really am. And I've heard little birds whispered into my ear that Ukraine finally might be thinking about giving up their hold on Crimea. which could be a marker for dialogue to begin with. I'm just could be want to see an end to this war. It would be nice. You know, we've been through ever since we entered into 2020. You know, you guys all with me on this. We've been through hell with a COVID epidemic, and then the war, and the financial system falling down the drain. Well, you know, there's a number of things, and I've told you guys, we could get out of certain things. We could get out of the war. We could come out of the COVID. But we're not going to escape. Absolutely, I'm telling you guys right now, we're not going to escape the financial problem that's coming. And it's going to be massive. And it's going to hit everybody hard. And, you know, this is why you need your gold and silver, and you need your alternatives to the dollar, because what's happening right now is going to lead to the dollar losing a tremendous amount of value over the next little while. And of course, this is going to work out well. It's going to work out well for people who owe money. Depends, actually. Depends. If you owe money on a high rate of interest, you're having to pay. And they're able to up that rate of interest. Like if you have a variable rate mortgage on your house, or you have credit card debt, you're going to get hurt in this. But if you've got a fixed rate mortgage on your house, or the value of money is going to go down so quick, what we call money is, which basically Federal Reserve notes, that it's going to help some people. And other people it's going to hurt them very badly, because wages are not going to keep up with the expenses in your life. And this is where we're going with this. And there's going to be an awful lot of people who lose their jobs too in this. And there's going to be an outcry from the general population. In fact, it might even progress into something much larger than that at a particular moment in time. And it might actually amaze you the amount of turmoil that comes in the next couple years with this situation, you know. I mean, we're still not completely out of the woods with these wars and stuff. But there is a little light at the end of the tunnel. You know, for a while there, I'm going to tell you, at the beginning of the war in Ukraine, things were very tense. And it started to look like it was going to head toward some sort of a nuclear exchange. Which is, we're not out of the woods on this yet. I'm just saying, guys. We can't breathe a sigh of relief. But I told you guys that that could happen. We could get out of the woods on this. And this is not something that's inevitably going to happen. A nuclear exchange is not inevitable. But what is inevitable, and I'm going to impress it upon you guys, I'm going to tell you guys right now, because it's math, what is inevitable is the downfall of the fiat currencies. This is absolutely inevitable. They just cannot keep printing and if the alternative to this is, if they stop printing, they stop creating new fiat currency, the system's going to implode on itself, because it's a Ponzi scheme. So they have to keep going. And this is why I say it's inevitable. The destruction of fiat is inevitable. And this is why they're trying to squiggle out of this. This is why they're trying to get into these central bank digital currencies and stuff. As a way to squeeze out. But that's not a way out. That's just moving from the frying pan into the fire. It's just more failure. You're not going to really get out of this until you do what Texas is trying to do. Let's go back and take a look at that. Which article was it here? I had it here. There it is, right here. Yeah, Texas, the Lone Star State, backing their gold with gold-backed digital currency. That's the way out. But for all the people who are invested in these worthless currencies, it's going to hurt them. Because they've made their millions or whatever, and they've got it all in the bank in the currency that's backed by nothing. You know, but they'd have their chance to buy in to a currency that's backed by something. But I can't see them letting them do this because their answer initially is going to be to go to the CBDCs, which are backed by nothing as well, and that's just more of the same. Okay, listen, guys, thank you for listening to my show. Like and subscribe, and we're going to catch you guys in the next episode. Have a great afternoon. Bye bye.